and get yourself a drink so we can be able to network, right? And lounge and be able to celebrate all the greatness that we're about to share with all of you, not only our esteemed colleagues who we're honoring tonight, but also to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month as we're closing on this month. We want to celebrate and acknowledge all of the great successes that our descendants and our Latinos and Latinas in our community are doing. So again, I'm going to just encourage you all to grab yourself a beverage, whatever beverage that looks like, a cup of coffee, glass of wine, a beer, a cocktail, a soft drink, whatever you want. I have my water with lemon here. I am on a very strict kind of like liquid diet right now. But aside from that, I have my beverage ready, and I hope you have yours as ready as well. So take a couple of minutes. One more time, I encourage all of you to take a quick pause before the cause so you can join us in the festivity. So it's really good to see you. Hi, David. How are you doing? It's so good to see you.
Hey, Ruben, how you doing? Great to see you
Excellent.
too.
Wonderful. Mayra, welcome. Sergio, welcome. Our esteemed colleague, Sergio, will be our MC this evening, and we're going to kick off our program exactly at 7 o'clock. So we're very excited to be able to share with you all of our honorees, all of our special presentations. We have some awesome music. We have a very talented performer this evening, and she will be indulging us with her talents, and I promise you it's going to be worth it. She has 3 pieces. She has some open mic, some poetry that reflects Hispanic Heritage Month. There's going to be some music as well. So we're all excited to have all of you here with us. Thank you all so much for joining us. So one more time, at I would say about 6:36, I will play this video on how to make a mojito, right? Or as all of you know, Cuba Libre originated in Cuba. So you're going to learn how to make a cocktail tonight by one of our esteemed colleagues who's a CCNY graduate who is now in the restaurant management field. And he's going to be demoing how to actually do a mojito for all of you today. So there's one piece that he did leave out, and he was very upfront about it. He said, hey, look, I'm going to just add this particular piece of the recipe towards the end of the video, but the procedure on how to make the mojito, he will have it there. So if you, by any chance, have white rum, if you have club soda, if you have sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, or any type of sugar, if you have lemon wedges, right? And if you have mint, I encourage you to go grab those ingredients now, because you're gonna learn how to make this Cuba Libre. You're gonna learn how to make a mojito tonight. So really, really excited about this. So I'm gonna play that in 2 parts. We're gonna play it in the beginning. It's about a 6-7 minute video. But aside from that, join us in our pre-cocktail hour. So thank you all so much. Emmanuel Estevez, congratulations and welcome. Welcome to your evening, right? This is your evening. We're so excited to have all of you here. Thank you all so much. Again, Dr. Fidel, welcome to your evening, Dr. Fidel. There he is. I see Dr. Fidel's grabbing his beverage. Excellent. Really love that. I saw that. Excellent. There we go. I will be joining you and cheering all of you. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. So raise your glass and we're going to do a toast to all of the Latinos and Latinas out there who are making our community better. Appreciate all of your efforts. So one more time, in about 3-4 minutes, I am going to play a video from one of our alumni who's going to show us how to make a mojito. So if you have mint, if you have lime, if you have white rum, if you have sugar, white or brown sugar, and if you have club soda, please grab those ingredients because we are going to share you on how to make this mocktail cocktail beverage with all of you. So I'm going to open up the floor to anyone. If you want to just do some introductions, I'm really curious to see our audience here today. So I'm going to open up the floor to anyone who wants to just kind of introduce yourselves. It's so good to see all of you. So just take a couple of minutes for introduction. So the virtual floor, I'm going to turn it over to all of you. So you can unmute yourself and just say hi, a couple of words, and we'll take it from there.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sergio Villaverde. I'm with the Latino Alumni Group and CCNY class of 93. Just welcoming everybody. I will also be speaking later on and presenting one of the awardees, but it's a great night and I'm so glad that everyone is here.
Sergio, great to see you, and Ruben, you as well. My name is David Covington. I'm the executive director for the Alumni Association, the parent office, if you will. And it's really such a pleasure for me to be here too. This was one of my first formal events as executive director 2.5 years ago. So it's got a special place in my heart. Congratulations to all the honorees tonight. And I'm really looking forward to the program. Thanks all.
Hi, I'm Hernandez Correa. Can you hear me? Very nice to meet you, Ruben. I've been wanting to meet you, and I'm very happy to be here, expecting a wonderful program. And that sign that you have behind you started when we researched the program, the CCNY, that was made during when Sergio allowed us to go to his office to meet. And we had a wonderful artist to make that magnificent banner. So it's nice to see it again. Thank you.
Good evening, Gary Kalnick.
Hi, Gary. We heard you.
Did we lose you, Gary?
I'm president of the Alumni Association, the Umbrella, and looking forward to this evening's program. I agree with Yolanda. The beautiful banner is very striking. Compliments to the artist.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Edgar Brown. Right now, I cannot see myself. Can you hear and see me?
We can hear you, but not see you.
Okay. Who's the Zoom expert here who's going to help me with why I can't be seen?
You know, this happens sometimes. If you have something covering your camera, maybe you have a physical item covering your camera, that's usually sometimes what happens.
That's right.
Well, look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. This whole world, what a strange 2 years it's been, right? And one day, you know, hopefully that we'll all be together again soon. It's a great honor. I got to admit, the art on the what I'm looking at now, this invite is absolutely beautiful. So is the art and the logo behind Dr. Rivera. And it's a pleasure to be here with you all. And you know, I'm having a martini, not a mojito. That's my drink of choice. So salute to all.
You'd better make it with white rum tonight. Hispanic Heritage Month, Mr. De Leon.
Actually, it's vodka. But as Sergio knows, not too long ago, I was down in Cuba. I had the pleasure of visiting that island just before COVID hit in October of 2019. And man, did I have some good rum down there. I'm talking about really, really, really good, smooth rum. So yes, I enjoy my rum, but tonight I'm having vodka. Sorry about that.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Aliseachuki. I'm a board member of the Latino Alumni Group, and I'm also president of the Architecture Alumni Group, graduate of 05, an architect in New York and New Jersey, and just wanted to say congratulations to all of the honorees today and happy Hispanic Heritage Month to everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Go ahead, Edgar. Edgar wanted to speak. Go ahead. I'll go after you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Edgar Brown. I'm from the class of 72. I'm presently a board member on the Alumni Association, and I'm also a member of the Latino. Don't let the last name Brown fool you. Soy un puertorriqueño. Okay. I just want to also say that congratulations to all the honorees. It's well deserved. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fidel Tavares, and I am from the class of 2011, and I'm one of the honorees today. And I'm just humbled and absolutely delighted to be here tonight. And I look forward to the event. Thank you very much for having me.
Good evening, all. I'm Manny Estevez, honoree here tonight as well, and also a member of the Latino Alumni Group. Extremely excited and so humbled to be here amongst all of you. So thank you guys for joining us tonight, and looking forward to the evening.
A quick programming check. All of our honorees have the award handy?
I have not received it as of yet.
I haven't received it either.
No excuse, gentlemen.
Nothing here.
Okay. Well, you will receive it. The check is in the mail.
It's here in spirit.
Yes, it's totally there in spirit.
The check's in the mail.
The checks in the mail will give you a digital award as well. And we can also give you some Shiba Inu cryptocurrency to go with that, just because it's on the rise. So the check might not be in the mail, but the cryptocurrency might be in your Gmail. So look out for those. All right, wonderful. So I'm going to stop this video just for one quick second. So just a quick disclaimer on what you're about to see. So we were very excited to have a virtual mocktail and a cocktail demonstration by one of our CCNY alumni. Now, this gentleman has been in the restaurant industry for a very long time. And he recorded this awesome video in the roof of the bar that he actually works in. Now, he did send me a disclaimer. He goes like, look, I forgot one ingredient, but everybody will know what that ingredient is towards the end, which is the most basic and simple ingredient of them all. But we also included a small notice at the bottom. So without further ado, let me just play this video and we'll take it away from there. Please let me know if you can see my screen. It should be a big dark screen, right? And I'm gonna hit play on this, and here we go. So grab your ingredients. If you do, I guess I mentioned it earlier before, mint, lime, sugar, ice cubes, white rum, and club soda.
Buenas noches and good evening. My name is Andres Pascual, hospitality specialist with over 15 years of New York City experience. On behalf of the CCNY Latino Alumni Club, happy Hispanic Heritage Month, and congratulations to all the Simón Bolívar Award recipients. Today, I'm here to give not only a brief history of a very popular drink with Hispanic origins, the Mojito, but also to give a brief demonstration on how to make this cocktail at home with your family and friends. I'm gonna go over a few ingredients with you today to start. First of all, we use white rum. Any brand of white rum works. Most well-known would probably be Bacardi. I also have simple syrup made with raw cane sugar, which can be made with a 1-to-1 ratio, so 1 part sugar, 1 part water. In this case, I also have a fresh lime, mint, a nice glass to put the cocktail in, jigger to pour my spirits, and then in this case, we normally use bar tins, but in this case, because you're probably making this drink at home, you can use 2 different size cups. All you have to do is just make sure that the 2 cups are able to close together to make a tight seal when you do the shake for your cocktail. Now, to go over the brief history of the Mojito, there are many, many different origins as to where this cocktail was first created or where it became popular. But the most well-known so far has been a lot of Cuban African slaves who worked in the sugar cane fields apparently made a well-known sugar cane drink known as guarapo, and in this case it had very similar ingredients to the Mojito. So it included raw cane sugar, fresh lime, and mint, or in this case was known as yerba buena. So that is our brief history. Now we're going to go into making the cocktail itself. So I'm going to build the drink first in the tins to start with. Okay, now first, what I always like to do is start off with the non-alcoholic parts first, just in case you do mess up, you put a little bit too much of one thing or too little of something else. If you need to start over, you're not wasting any alcohol in the process. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the simple syrup. In this case, all you have to do is about ½ an ounce of simple syrup, not too much, but if you do like it a lot more sugary than most people, you can always add more, but I always like to do ½ an ounce to start. poured into the cups in which you're going to be shaking your drink in. Next, I'm actually going to squeeze a little bit of fresh lime juice. In this case, I'm going to show you how to cut your garnish, as well as how to squeeze the lime itself, in case you don't know how to do that at home, but it's okay, don't worry about it. So I just want to make sure that the camera person can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the ends of the lime first. And then I'm going to cut the lime in half. And then a really neat trick that I've learned while working in bars is if you actually do cut a slit in between the lime itself, when you cut the limes into pieces, you already have the slit that's going to go onto your drink, so it makes it easier to hold on to the garnish, okay? So I'll cut a few just to demonstrate. And you can probably get up to 4 pieces, maybe 5, depending on how big your lime is, okay? Now in this case, I'm going to start off with the squeeze, and I'm going to squeeze it right into the jigger. So again, about ½ an ounce. You can go a little bit less, but again, depends on your preference. If you like lime juice, and you can always add more. Okay. So I added about ½ an ounce of fresh lime juice. And in this case, normally you would use a muddler to go ahead and basically release the essential oils from the mint. But in this case, if you want to make your cocktail on the fly, what I like to do is take a couple pieces of fresh mint and then actually tear them into pieces now, so that when you give it a good shake, you already have the released oils from the mint, and the pieces are small enough that it won't, bother you too much, okay? All right, now we're gonna go ahead and add some, actually we're gonna add the rum. In this case, we're gonna do 2 ounces of rum. But again, if you like to drink white rum, you can always add a little more, you can always add a little less, but I always like to do the baseline of 2 ounces. Okay. So now in this cup, you should have 2 ounces of white rum, about ½ an ounce of the simple syrup, a little bit of fresh lime juice, but again, you can always add more. And then now I'm going to go ahead and add the ice. Beautiful. Now that we've added the ice, we're going to go ahead and cover both cups, give it a nice good shake. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and fill my cocktail glass with ice as well. Okay. And now we're going to take the contents of our drink, pour it right into the glass. In this case, I am actually using a mason jar, but of course you can make it into any of the glasses you have at home. Beautiful, and you have a nice rosy color. And again, going back to the lime, you have the nice slit, put it on there, bam, and there you go. You have the Mojito, very delicious classic cocktail. And again, thank you very much for watching. Remember to drink responsibly. Salud, and have a great night.
Okay, so don't forget to top it off with your favorite club soda. As my friend said, please make sure you include your favorite club soda and top it off, just to make sure we recap that, okay? Because I know that was the main ingredient. I'm like, hey, what are the main ingredients here? Club soda. He's like, make sure you top it off. But anyway, aside from that, I will be sending the video to everyone in case you do want to practice that at home. I want to say thank you to my friend Andres, class of 2011. And thank you all so much for watching. And we're going to start our program in another 10 minutes. I'm going to open up the digital floor once again to all of you, just to network, just to connect, and to be able to talk with everyone. And we kick off our program at 7, where our Master of Ceremonies, the one, the only, Sergio Villaverde, will be leading us in this evening. So thank you all so much.
Good evening to all. Charles Gonzalez calling from Puerto Rico. I'm the ancient mariner here. Congratulations, Edgar, and congratulations to all. Emmanuel, it's a pleasure to see so much talent. I come from the class of 65. That's when the dinosaurs were still in City College. So, it's a great seeing that more Latinos are doing great things in Manhattan. Unfortunately, I'm in Puerto Rico, so we're still recuperating from Maria, but we always have you in our hearts. Un abrazo a todos.
Mr. Gonzalez, I was just down there. I just got back late Monday night. I was there for the long weekend, and I was in Isla Verde, and I stayed at the El San Juan, and went to Bayamón and Old San Juan and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're right. There's still some damage there, and the island has not really still gotten back from what I saw.
No, I work in FEMA, so I can tell you that we haven't recuperated.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you came, because we need also a lot of inflow of tourism, because that went down to nothing because of the pandemic and also the hurricane. So I hope everybody treated you well, and you had rum and Coke.
Oh, I did. I had a wonderful experience. The only thing that did not work out is my mother's buried in Bayamón in the municipal cemetery there. And I went there on a Saturday, and apparently they're only open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I talked to some of the cemetery workers at my father's cemetery, and they were talking about strikes down there regarding cemetery workers. They're trying to get $10 an hour, and they're getting paid $8 or less or something like that. Really struggling.
Well, the cemeteries are struggling because 80 of them were affected by the hurricane.
Yeah.
So our family lives in Tuabaja, and that was completely devastated, and I could not bury my wife.
Mm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow.
We had to cremate her, so because it's so
Condolences,
so
Edgar.
sad.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to hear that, Charles, but I'm so glad you got on tonight. We have to talk later on. Pareto, okay?
Okay. Un abrazo to all. Congratulations. Keep the jobs going.
And we have the chat feature going, so if you want to put your contact information there for others to reach you, your email address, and such, please all feel free to do so. I'm doing that now as well, so that we should be able to network. If we were in person, we would be doing that. So feel free to say, hey, this is me.
And also, I happen to be the president of the San Sebastian Festival. I think all of you have heard of it.
That's wonderful music you got going on, Charles.
It's not here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my background. Classical, trying to be classical and classy music.
Okay.
Lo mío es salsa.
You are a classy guy. That's why. So everyone has got mine, and I trust everyone is safe. Next year we certainly hope to be in person with everybody, and I hope that we can all be here for it next year, including our honorees. It'll be good to press the flesh. So know it now that you are all invited to next year's event. It's very, very, very important that we stay connected, and it's hard. So I'm grateful for every single person that's here. Other than Charles, anyone do anything new and exciting?
In Puerto Rico?
Anywhere in the world. Anybody else do anything new and exciting?
Well, we're all curtailed. We can't move. I belong to the International Federation of Housing and Planning, and I can't go to Copenhagen. That's where our headquarters are. So, everything is virtual, unfortunately.
Charles Gonzalez, did you know a gentleman named Sam Heyman by any chance? He used to work at DOT down in PR.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
I worked in Edificios Públicos, Public Building Authority. I was the chief in charge of the historic preservation of Old San Juan. So that's, but I never, that name doesn't ring a bell. Probably, I probably seen it a long time ago. I worked in as the architect for the Inter-American University in Atorrey, and also the Judicial Center. I made 2 judicial centers, the San Juan Judicial Center and the Payamon Judicial Center. Since you're a lawyer, so are you acquainted with those?
I actually passed it as I was going to my to visit my mom's gravesite and my dad's gravesite.
Yeah. So the next time you come, sir, we be good to see you, and we can discuss all sorts of good things.
Thank you for the.
And I'm sorry for your loss also.
Thank you.
This is Peretta. Well, it's nice to know that Gary is on, Alec, and I don't know who else is on, but it's nice that he's on. He's the president of the Alumni Association. So I think that's quite an honor.
How are you, Peretta? Can you hear me, Peretta?
Charles, you're not going to put your information on the chat?
It's already there.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh. All right, so we're almost ready. Everyone has their cocktail ready before the program starts?
Definitely. Here's mine.
All right, we don't want anybody falling out of their chair, though. Peretta, take it easy. Take it easy, Peretta.
I will.
Dr. Peretta Rodriguez is one of our long-serving members on the board, and she can certainly handle herself. So she knows it's a little tongue-in-cheek when I say take it easy, Peretta.
That's for sure.
Although this De Leon guy, I'm not too sure about.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little shaky. I'll vouch for that. Yeah.
It's good to be surrounded by old friends and by new friends, and they're as the saying goes, there's no such thing as strangers, only friends we haven't met. And that's certainly something I found in our community and in this group. So
that's a beautiful saying.
Yeah, that was who was that?
I don't know, but it sounds very good, and that's typical of you. That's very good.
It's somebody.
I don't know if anybody's been down to Costa Rica, but I had the pleasure of being down there as Sergio's guest.
Oh.
And met his extended family down there. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful place, beautiful country, beautiful beach. It was a very nice experience. Thanks, Serge. I'm not going to forget that one.
Oh, thank you. Peretta's been trying to plan a group trip to Costa Rica for years now. So now I guess the cat's out the bag, right, Peretta? We got to go.
That's right. We have to go.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Costa Rica is very beautiful.
A lot of exciting things besides Sergio and his family. There's a lot of exciting, beautiful things to see in Costa Rica.
I mean, don't judge Sergio's family.
He's just a good example as to what you can expect.
Or
I was going to say, don't judge Sergio's family by Sergio. I mean,
right. I'm an aberration. Well, you didn't.
So it's 7 o'clock. I think we're ready to get the show on the road. Whenever you all are ready, of course. I don't want to interfere or intervene with the mingling.
Right. We didn't know it was going to be a roast, but when when His Honor Administrative Law Judge De Leon couldn't get his camera on, I was like, okay, it worked. He's got the perfect face for radio, he's been told. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll be here all week. All righty. So it's us. It's still us. So without further ado, welcome everyone. I'm going to officially start our program to our annual Simón Bolívar Award ceremony, Lifetime Achievement Award, and our Rising Star Award. I had the pleasure of being here when this was invented at its inception. I think I was one of the founders of it, or one of the inventors of it, and one of the finest things I think we've done as a Latino alumni group, if I could be so bold as to say that. It recognizes members of our community, both typically an alum and a non-alum, who have given their service and are shining examples of both what City College represents and what our greater extended community represents. So I'm most proud to have all of the recipients that we have here tonight. It was not an easy process to get to them. So it's you should all be very proud of yourselves for receiving the award. I will come back to the awardees. I'm actually going to be presenting one to, as you may have gathered, my close colleague and friend, Judge Edgar De Leon. At this point, for our welcoming remarks, I'm going to be introducing our esteemed president of the Latino Alumni Group, Dr. Ruben Rivera. We just call him Dr. Ruben. He likes to be called Ruben, but we must recognize the accomplishments of our community. Dr. Rivera has his master's in adult education. He is also from his undergrad, a graduate of the City College of New York. He worked for the Council for Economic Education, and his experience in public education is that he's also been a teacher, an educator in the New York City Department of Education. He has, as I stated, served as Director of Professional Development for the entity he's with. He set up numerous series and webinars on their online portal. He has been a remarkable leader of our group, I will say on a personal note. I believe you'll be able to read his full bio, so I'm not going to go through it. I'm going to give you some of my own personal observations. We've had the honor of having Ruben come in. He's been a breath of fresh air. Dr. Ruben is a dynamic young Latino and shining example of where you can get to from a place such as City College. And in him, we are most proud. So without further ado, I will introduce the president of the Latino Alumni Group, the City College of New York Alumni Association, Dr. Ruben Rivera.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sergio, for all those wonderful words. I'll give you the $20 later, but that's okay. Graduated in class of 2007. My undergraduate was in sociology and Jewish studies. And then I was fortunate enough to get a master's degree in education, and I got a PhD in education administration as well from University of Phoenix, Arizona. Very delighted to be with all of you today. And given the circumstances, these are very difficult times, but we are now adjusting to whatever the new norm is going to be. Hopefully next year we can all shake hands in person, or at least give air fives from the distance, or whatever that's going to look like. But it's not only my privilege and my honor to be here with all of you, all of my esteemed colleagues, and all of my fellow alumni, but also to congratulate our Simón Bolívar recipients and our honorees, our rising stars. We say thank you to all the work that you have done. I want to just talk a little bit briefly. I will save my closing remarks. I will do those at the end, but I just want to take a moment to recognize all of the Latinos and Latinas in this month, our Hispanic Heritage Month, not only for all the work that we've done, not only all the work that our ancestors have done, and the people who came before us, and the people who are building the bridge now, but also the people who are going to build the bridge in the future. I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here tonight. If you look around this virtual stage, and if you look around this virtual room, you're going to see a collection of talent. You're going to see a collection of skill. You're going to see a collection of success and triumph. And all of our honorees here tonight represent that, and they merit that. And to me, it's not only an honor to be a part of such a wonderful organization, to be part of City College as a whole, be a part of the Alumni Association, but the Latino Alumni Group. I just want to say thank you so much for the network. Thank you so much for the work that you put every single day to not only make the lives of the future undergraduates and graduates and alumni better, but to make all of our communities better. With that being said, I want to transition that over back to Sergio, and you will hear from me more later on. Thank you all so much. Sergio, you're on mute.
Okay, I've been told I sound better that way. So thank you very much, Dr. Rivera. I now have the pleasure of presenting Dr. Peretta Rodriguez, who most of us on this call know. And Peretta, if you didn't know her, in about 10 minutes of being around her, you will know her, because she's a force to be reckoned with. Peretta's a class of 1959. Dr. Peretta is a therapist, a psychologist by trade, and she's been a driving force at City College when she worked for City College, and even after leaving, always reaching back, making sure to join the Alumni Association, making sure to join the Latino Alumni Group, and always reaching back for the betterment of City College and for those who attend. As many of us know, City College is a Hispanic serving institution. It's one of the premier ones, if you ask most of us. But she always makes sure that we are at the table and that we've been at the table at times when it was fashionable and not fashionable. And in keeping with her beliefs, Peretta was the one who actually came up with the Rising Star Award. She said, we give the Lifetime Achievement Award. That's usually people who are later on in their careers, but what are we doing to highlight and encourage the younger crowd, the people who are more recent graduates? And Peretta came up with the idea for this award over the objection of many of the old people like myself, but she pushed it forward, and it's become an institution as part of our award. So I'm now going to turn the floor over to Dr. Peretta Rodriguez.
Well, thank you very much, Sergio, but I do have to correct you. The Rising Star was introduced by our previous president, Yolanda Estevez, I think it was. And I was a vice president under her, and she did a marvelous, marvelous job. So she's the one that really initiated the Rising Star. Let me tell you about my Rising Star. I mean, I call him mine because he's just so exceptional. He's like Ruben and like Sergio, just exceptional. Emmanuel Estevez was chosen as a Rising Star by the board of the Latino Alumni Association, the Latino Alumni Group, for his openness and readiness to serve the Latino community in New York City. He is recognized for his self-awareness of the opportunities presented all of us, but particularly young professionals that are facing the turmoil of our present environment. He is willing to use his skills and confidence to build for the future and open doors for those that are coming after him. Manny was born in the Lower East Side to Dominican parents. His parents had faith in themselves and the opportunities possible as a result of living in the United States. Manny grew up in the suburbs of Suffolk County, Long Island, from elementary to high school. He chose to attend the Spitzer School of Architect at the City College of New York in order to attain the skills necessary to understand his fascination of the construction of building projects. He received his Bachelor of Architect degree in 2013, which you have to say, and I have to say, it's exceptional because there were and there are still very few Latinos that get into the School of Architect and graduate. As the saying goes, you can get in easy, but getting out is going to be a challenge. As a young architect student, Manny was recognized for his flair when it came to the attention to details and his conscientious approach with efficient architectural design. Manny joined the CWB team as a model maker in 2020. After receiving high recommendations from his professors, he has grown and built his work experience to include regulatory approvals, construction documents, and construction administration on a variety of residential, commercial, and institutional properties. Manny has also worked on an array of historic and landmark projects throughout Brooklyn. Many of the historic districts in Brooklyn, including Dumbo, where Manny was a key team member, leading an effort to convert 1 million square feet of historic warehouses and storage spaces to now being the heart of the international destination in New York. Manny currently lives in Washington Heights, where he enjoys his daily bike commute to and from the CWE office in Dumbo. In addition to his professional work, Manny loves to participate in community service efforts and also serves as an active member of the Latino Alumni Group at the City College of New York, where he is currently vice president of the board. Manny is currently engaged to be married and is approaching his marriage in a detailed and conscientious manner as he does his work. He is excited and determined to make it work for a long time. He's a star among stars, and I'm privileged to nominate him for the Simón Bolívar Award. Thank you, Manny, for being available. Thank you for all the inspiration you give to young Latinos and Latinas that are looking to get into the field of architect, which is extremely difficult, just like everything else. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. And Manny, do we have you? There you are.
I'm here.
Now I'd like to introduce Emmanuel Estevez, class of 2013. Manny, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sergio. And Berta, thank you so much for that kind and gracious presentation from you. I appreciate that. And I hope I could only live up to such high regard. Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy that you're here tonight, and I'm so thankful to have everyone here and be supported among the ranks of such successful and motivating people. For me, I'm absolutely humbled, and I was actually very shocked to have been considered a rising star by the Latino Alumni Group. But as a graduate of City College, I've always been very proud of my roots and I've worn my years at CCNY as a badge of honor always. My journey at City actually began back in the suburbs of Long Island, where I was my parents ended up being faced with an unexpected challenge that was clearly out of their line of expertise. My uncle, he was an excellent handyman, but he was faced with building a wood frame shed from scratch in our backyard one time. And somewhere along the process, our neighbors were like, well, what are these Dominican people doing next door? It looks like a structure is coming up and this might be some kind of strange addition. And quickly they had an inspector on site and they shut down my parents' wood shed. And my father, he just gave up right away and he installed one of those Home Depot the scrap metal type sheds that make a lot of noise. And I actually grew up hating that thing. But for me, it became a bigger deal because as a first generation English speaker and reader child of my Dominican immigrant parents, I'd always grown up helping my family and all of their friends to complete and submit documents and forms and applications from Social Security offices to the DMV to sometimes people's job applications. Really, I was running like a rack a racket, I guess, back then, and I could have probably made some money. But my mother and father, they had different plans because they came from very humble places, and to them, it was nothing short of an obligation for us to help our peers and our community in any way that was possible. And I have a very good friend, Melissa, who attended CCNY years before me. And she wanted to become a psychologist and serve people that she saw in dire need of mental illness. And she went on to do that. And she encouraged me to go to CCNY also and study and get my degree. And I'm always thankful to have always been blessed with examples of that spirit of service to our communities. And this spirit, coupled with my intrigue to the built environment at this point where I wanted to build a shed and I needed to find out how to document these things, is what brought me to CCNY also, where I sought to gain that understanding of what these so-called architects were doing and how can I empower myself so that an inspector wouldn't come in and block my endeavors. And as it turned out, I did gain a lot of that understanding at CCNY. And I also became engulfed in a whole different world, in a new place that I called home, and also considered myself an indebted part of this new community. Along with my friends and my fraternity brothers, I've always participated in a lot of community services and volunteer efforts, more than I can recall at this point, luckily. And my opportunities and my pursuit of this higher education also led to me having a profession as an architect and laid out a career that I've been following now for 9 years, thankfully. And I'm always learning, always a student and trying to get better and plan better for the future. Early on in my work at CWB, I also had the pleasure to be introduced to one of the hardest working people that I know, and one of my most inspiring mentors, who's Franklin Chuki, who's also been a president of the Latino Alumni Group, and introduced me to the group and introduced me to kind of this exciting new opportunity to also contribute back to our community. And that's always been great to me to have these outlets, to be something part of these greater groups than myself. And today I can say that if I am a rising star amongst you all, it's because I've been bestowed with such a privilege, really to stand upon the shoulders of giants like yourselves, exceptional people like you, Pereta, Edgar de Leon, Fidel Tavares, Sergio, Franklin, Vanessa, Jesse, and Ruben, everyone in the alumni group. Really, you kind of set these stepping stones for people that come behind you, and I think that's the real group and the real purpose and the spirit of the alumni group. And I'm always inspired by you all, so I can only dream and work hard to contribute my own fair share to our communities and to continue to preserve the spirit that we have to give back to our communities and lend our talents to a greater purpose. So thank you guys. I appreciate you all.
Wow, thank you very, very much, Manny. This is well deserved, and as we all can expect, it's not going to be the last we hear from such a stellar rising star as Manny. Now, many of you who are seeing me now on this call have noticed, I'm wearing glasses because I wear glasses to read now, as happens. But apparently, I need a new pair of glasses. Because if you've been following the program and you've been following what I did, we skipped over a major part of our program. And that is the welcoming remarks by our Alumni Association President, Gary Kalnick. Gary is class of 1967. He has remained loyal and true to the school and to its mission. Gary, and if there's anyone you don't want to overlook, it's Gary. And Gary lives up the block from me in the Bronx, so Gary's still a local boy. So I'm going to have to see him now on the street and try and live this down. But Gary has been our president even before he was president. Gary was a supporter of this group before the group existed. As a founding member, I recall that Gary was there saying, no, this group is important. The constituency that you represent from the alumni, from the student body is important. And when as in all organizations, when things were bad for us, Gary was a cheerleader and a supporter as a board member of the Alumni Association. And, there are times, and I'll be honest, when, people were busy, things looked like they weren't going to keep going. And it was Gary's leadership that has helped keep this organization, the Latino Alumni Group, where it is and a vibrant part of the Alumni Association. So without further ado, my good friend, Gary Kalnick.
Thank you, Sergio. No apologies. One of the things we've all learned is how to be fluid. And I, in fact, really appreciated you making that leap, because I knew I was able to read up on Edward de Leon and Fidel Tavares, but I didn't have a profile for Manny Estevez. And so that really worked out perfectly. It's my pleasure this evening to bring greetings from the Parent Alumni Association. The last ceremony I attended was in 2019 when we were in the NAC building, and it was a festive occasion, and I look forward to when we can get back together, break bread, and personally network. However, and all of us have been forced with the arrival of COVID to adapt, and I think special congratulations is in order with regard to the Latino group for notwithstanding the arrival of COVID and the need to go virtual, that you have adapted. I want to add my compliments to whoever your graphic artist is. I think your announcements for the program were and are very distinctive, and I think a tribute to the Latin flavor. They're very colorful and symbolic, and I think that speaks to the vibrance of the organization. The Latino group does a very valuable job, and I think you're one of the largest, if not the largest, between you and the Asian alumni. You are the two fastest growing groups on the City College campus. And so it's critical that the Latino group be an effective networking mechanism, and that it include Latinos from across the diaspora, so that people, because many of us have been first generation professionals and first generation graduates from school. I think, Manny Estevez spoke to that from his own situation. And I think people need role models. And one of the things that the group does with the diversity of educational areas that the group represents, it provides inspiration. Many of the students coming out of high school have a perspective rather narrowly in terms of what possible careers are. And it's not till you get into the college that you learn of others. But the missing ingredient, which really motivates somebody, is whether you get an opportunity to meet people who look like you, who've come from a background comparable to your own, and who've made it. That is inspirational. I think that the selection committee for the awards has done a very fine job in the selection of the three nominees for this evening. If you look at, and it's interesting, law enforcement has been a avenue out of or into the middle class. And I think that Edgar de Leon, clearly coming from becoming a police officer, I was impressed that he wasn't really in the normal day-to-day street operations. He got in and specialized in investigating the hate crimes and later on adjudicating disability claims, and was, as yourself, Sergio, very insightful in planning for his next career, knowing that he would reach retirement age at a relatively young age and still had a lot to give back. And so he prepared and secured his law degree during that law enforcement career and is now a subject expert in a number of things. In reading up on Fidel Tavares, I was similarly impressed. I mean, he went to LaGuardia, graduated in 08, LaGuardia Community College, in case others don't know. He graduated from CCNY in 2011, Princeton 2016, PhD in history. However, in reading up on him, what was very significant is during that search, he took a hiatus, he took a break, and he became a proficient Afro-Caribbean musician and came back. So his skills are very broad, and he knows that the road to success is not always straight, but he demonstrated the tenacity to get the job done and is, now an exemplary researcher. And these are stories that I think are inspirational for younger students coming up, realizing that there are significant role models. And I hope that they will clearly, Manny is involved with the Latino group. It's my desire, as we turn over the leadership, both within the various affiliates, as well as at the parent body, that we have younger people involved. And I see that you're starting your pipeline with Manny Estevez being an officer already. And so kudos and congratulations go to the leadership. Ruben Diaz is also a younger president. And so that is inspiring to think that we have people going forward. I hope that the program will, for other people who may not be officers and maybe attending for the first time, that it will be inspirational and that they will, if they are not members of the parent association, do so and become affiliated with the Latino group and strengthen it, because the universe of potential members is extensive on campus. And I'm concerned with the last year or two with COVID, because we lost students who didn't have the infrastructure at home to be able to connect and maximize their learning in a virtual environment, and didn't find the same inspiration. Campus was closed, and so many students who used the campus as a study forum did not have that. So let us look forward to beating COVID and renewing our strong campus presence and increasing the participation and membership from people from the Latino community. And so congratulations to the 3 honorees and much future success. And thank you for the opportunity to address tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President Kalnick. As always, your words strike at the heart of the matter, and I thank you for that. Today, this program, we have a particularly special treat. We have one of the renowned performers from our community. For those of you who don't know, you will know Diana Gutesha Hernandez Correa. She is going to be performing spoken word. There will be music, and I will let you sit back and please take in this important artist. Diana?
Hola, you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Hey, everybody. So glad to be here tonight at this most prestigious event hosted by CCNY, Simón Bolívar Latino Alumni Group. I would like to thank Beretta Rodriguez and Ruben Rivera and Sergio Velavelde for inviting me to perform for you. And I have Ruben Isola on guitar tonight, Marky Nelms on bass, and Rebecca Levinson on keyboard. We will start this evening, which I kind of dedicated. I didn't know if I was going to do my own material. I have some of it, but I kind of dedicated this night to Julia de Bergos, but she was an amazing poet and a writer, and she was an activist, and she was a woman, and she grew up. She came from Carolina, Puerto Rico. Was the oldest of 13 kids, and came to the States at a time. She was born in 1914 when, there wasn't a lot of choices for women. And she certainly, ventured into a world that was populated by men, the writing community and comrades and also intellectuals. So through her poems, we get a glimpse of her struggle and become familiar with her world. And we now stand on her shoulders, Latino women exploring liberation of mind, body, and spirit, and the solidarity of our people. And this is for Julia. And she wrote in the beginning, "My childhood was all a poem in the river, and a river in my poem of my first dreams. ¿Cómo fue? No sé decirte cómo fue. No sé explicarte qué pasó, pero de ti me enamoré. I wanted to be like men wanted me to be, an attempt of life, a game of hide and seek with my being. But I was made of nows, and my feet level on the promissory earth would not accept walking backward, and went forward, forward, mocking the ashes to reach the kiss of new baths. At each advancing step on my route forward, my back was ripped by the desperate flapping of wings of the old guard. But the branch was unpined forever, and at each new whiplash, my look separated more and more from the distant familiar horizons. And my face took the expression that comes from within, that denied expression, that hinted at a feeling of intimate liberation, a feeling that surged from the balance between my life and the truth of the kiss of new baths. Already my course now set in the present, I felt myself a blossom of all the soils of the earth, of the soils without history, of soil without a future, of the soil, always soils without edges, of all the men and all the epochs. And I was in me as was life in me. I wanted to be like men wanted me to be, an attempt of life, a game of hide and seek with my being, but I was made of nows. And when the heralds announced me at the regal parade of the old guard, the desire to follow men warped in me, and the homage was left waiting for me. Yo quise ser como los hombres quisieron que yo fuese, un intento de vida, un juego al escondite con mi ser. Pero yo estaba hecho de presentes y mis pies planos sobre la tierra promisoria no desistirían caminar hacia atrás y siguieran adelante, adelante, burlando las cenizas para alcanzar el beso de los senderos nuevos. Pero la rama estaba desprendida para siempre y a cada nuevo azote la mirada mía se separaba más y más y más de los lejanos horizontes aprendidos y mi rostro iba tomando la expresión que le venía de adentro, la expresión definida que asomaba un sentimiento de liberación íntima, un sentimiento que surgía de equilibrio sostenido entre mi vida. Y la verdad del beso de los senderos nuevos, ya definido mi rumbo en el presente, me sentí brote de todos los suelos de la tierra, de los suelos sin historia, de los suelos sin porvenir, de suelos, siempre suelos sin orillas, de todos los hombres y de todas las épocas. Yo fui todo en mí como fui en mí la vida. Yo quise ser como los hombres quisieron que yo fuese, un intento de vida, un juego al escondido con mi ser. Pero yo estaba hecha de presentes. Cuando ya los heraldes me anunciaban en el griego desfile de los troncos viejos, se me torció el deseo de seguir a los hombres. Quizás, y el homenaje se quedó esperándome. Quizás, quizás.
Bravo. Bravo, niña. Eso estaba rico. Gracias.
De nada, de mi gracia para hacerlo con ustedes esta noche.
Ahora vas a leer algo que tú escribiste.
Sí, si tú quieres, voy a hacer uno de mío.
Right. Gracias.
Okay. Puerto Rican Mommy Soul. Here in the quick up it, water falling out of clouds, translucent, tender, radiant as thick eyes descend the space we're in. We go on falling, approaching the wonder that keeps us bewitched, suspended and between worlds. New York, Puerto Rico, Singapore, and the Bronx, cold sweat, mommy, your bleached blonde locks against an open sky. Nitty-gritty beans are cooking, your song as it perfumes the small kitchen of my youth. Salsa and the sangria of your love. You tell us about when you were little, how you lived behind the governor's mansion, next to El Morro, and you'd roller skate with the governor's daughter. Esa blanca americana, y como te llamaron la americana tú, y como te gustaba comer esa comida gringa, escargot and blanched potatoes on French $100 tablecloths. Dance for your dinner, native that you are, your castanets 5'7", brown body from Sunday after Sundays, batting your long Libra lashes at the governor's house, and how special that made you feel. Aspiring to Debbie Reynolds and Elizabeth Taylor Dunn's Las Novelas that flung you far from the shores of Puerto Rico, away from coconut midsummer afternoons, sandwich shells, acapulcrias, Latino men whose desires you'd leave behind as you set sights for a new world, where you had visions you'd become far better than they. Doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, anything was better than shacking up with a broke brother who would knock you up and leave you barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen. I remember looking hard at the lines drawn on my skin, the distinctions of color, my birthmarks from pinks to browns, from palm to fore. Your higher aspirations which placed our souls in Anglo schools where my Puerto Ricanness could escape me, before schoolyard nights would claim me. The only Rican in a school where none had heard of us, and they'd say, Puerto Rico, ain't that in Africa? Day after day, I'd eat my jamon de pote sandwich And the Japs would say, "What's that? Didn't you have that yesterday?" They'd be downing arugula salmon salads and roast beef. "You want to trade?" "Ah, mommy, haven't understood what you've done. I understand what you did, wanting more for us than what you had. Your dream for us, gracias para todo, pero I dream of what you left behind. That island in the sun, and I know it won't ever be the same as it was back when. Innocence bought, packaged, and sold. Welfare lines left scars all over our old paradise, weakening the spine of the Indian spirit and what's left. Owners rich, foreign, and bald. As natives claim deep-fried cuchifrito stands, ice-cold beer while desiring this whitewashed dream, America, where everyone is so rich and pretty, and there's always so much plenty, at least to look at. But what I desire is to return to mommy's memoria, to have a piece of my root, a patch of sky, a slice of sand, where the whispers of the sea returns me to that place where earth holds my cemetery, and the rhythms move my feet to my Puerto Rican soul. You call me home, as my roots pulsate back to you, mommy.
Bravo! Bravo!
Oh. That poem was written, I would guess, about 25 years ago. Now, this is a song, a compatriot of Julia de Bergos, born around the same time. She was Violeta Parra, Chilean, was born in 1914. And we would like to do this song. Oh, and I also play drums. When I retired, I took them up as an educator. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio estos luceros que cuando los abro, perfecto distingo lo negro del blanco, y en alto cielo su fondo estrellado, y en las multitudes el hombre que yo amo. Gracias a la vida que me he dado tanto, me he dado el sonido y el abecedario, con él las palabras que pienso y declaro, madre, amigo, hermano, y luz alumbrando, y la ruta de alma de que estoy amando. Rubén. Thanks to life, given me so much. It's given me two beams of light that when opened can perfectly distinguish black from white. And in the sky above her starry backdrop, and from within, the multitudes of the ones I love. Thanks to life which has given me so much, gave me an ear that in all of its width records night and day, crickets and canaries, hammers and turbines and bricks and storms, and the tender voice of my beloved. Gracias a la vida, me he dado tanto, me he dado la marcha de mis pies cansados. Con ello anduve ciudades y charcos, playas y desiertos, montañas y llanos, y la casa tuya, tu calle y tu patio. Thanks to life, gave me so much. Gave me the ability to walk with my tired feet, and with them I have traversed cities and puddles, valleys and deserts, mountains and plains, and your home and your street and your patio. Thanks to life, which has given me so much, gave me a heart that causes my frame to shudder when I see the fruit of the human brain, when I see good from bad, when I see within the clarity of your eyes. Sa la vida, que me ha dado tanto, me dio el corazón, que agita tu marco cuando miro el fruto de cerebro humano, cuando miro el bueno tan lejos del malo, cuando miro la bondad de tus ojos claros. Thanks to life, give me so much. You've given me laughter, it gave me longing, and with them I can distinguish happiness from pain, the two materials from which my songs are formed, and your song as well, which is my song, and everyone's song, which is the very song. Gracias a la vida, que me he dado tanto, me he dado la risa y me he dado el llanto. Así yo distingo dicho de quebranto, las dos materiales que forman mi canto, y el canto de ustedes, que es el mismo canto, y el canto de todos, que es mi propio canto. Gracias a la vida, gracias a la vida, a la vida. Gracias a la vida, gracias a la vida. Okay, now we're going to do our last piece. We're shutting some air off. How are you guys doing out there?
I believe
Wonderful.
everyone's entranced.
You're amazing.
Good, that's what I want. I like that.
Beautiful. Bravo. Bravo.
Chévere, chévere. Okay, we're going to do, where is my piece? Beautiful Love, right? Yes.
I like the poetry and the music at the same time.
Okay, you like that, right? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So I'm going to do one more piece that I wrote for this project, and it's mixed in with a song called Beautiful Love. So I hope you enjoy it. And then if we have time, I may do a bass poem with my bass player. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. beautiful love, my dream to realize. I was contented till you came along, thrilling my soul with your song. Shall we bargain with the androids and the collective consciousness? Shall we drift into reason, seeing soul without soul? Shall reason not have a bone or a body, vacuous like a computer program, devoid of our collective histories? Latinos on the round, summoned from all our respective corners, places where sun beats down to brown us, equally kiss our skins, our shaded grounds that entangles and engages us as a one collective sonido of rhythm and rhyme and struggle. Truth be told, from palm trees to skyscrapers, cities to shore, across the continents that divide us, how now to brainstorm, nestle into our united desires. Latinos become more than was expected. Latinos freed from the shackles of limitations, imitations, imposed in the anguish of separation from you. Primo, prima, my cousin. I want our route, nuestra ruta, to be possessed with the phenomena of Julia, comrade of spirit and movement, trabajadora de cultura y ángel de motivación, sangre and surrender. Latino, the solidarity of our struggle. To a place crowned by the sun and the roots of our tritone ancestors, bathe in the same thirsty waters. Bello amor, tú eres mi misterio. Bello amor, que tú has hecho a mí. Yo estaba contenta hasta tú llegaste aquí, llenando mi alma con tu canción. Bello amor, lloro de tu paraíso, buscando amor, siguiendo mi sueño, esquilando el cielo, dependiente a ti. Oh, bello amor, drink in the same thirsty waters. Drink of your dream seeds that you have planted. Leona now, alumbrate. Mi ruta es tu ruta. Mark, my struggle is yours, Julia. Your ghost persists in all Latin American countries, children and mothers and fathers. Your ghost keeps tugging at my roots. Sigue por delante, no para. This is just the beginning, enveloped into the core of our sons and daughters. In the cross-consciousness of our precious, unique, and unified Latinos from across the globe, somos no computador, no máquina aquí that can stop or divide what Julia has started. A flame to be carried, to discover freedom, to be recognized, magnificent and fully vested, unique and gracious as any other power source. We rise straight into a future, prepared to hold each other's dreams as we march, vested in our collective consciousness, already having tasted success. Llegamos, seguimos y vamos. Llegamos, seguimos y vamos. Beautiful dream. Will our dreams come true?
Bravo. Thank you very
Wonderful.
much, Diana. That was beyond words. Would you please take a quick moment to introduce the rest of the artists,
Yes,
the people who
please.
helped
Will
you?
everybody stand up, okay? We have Rebecca Levinson on keyboard. We have Ruben Isola on guitar. And we have Marky Nelms on bass.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Diana. And Diana, if you are available, we would like to keep you and maybe have something towards the end of the program, if you would grace us with your presence. But thank you. We have all enjoyed that so thoroughly, and wow, that was inspirational. I think we all agree. Another round of applause for Diana.
Yay! I'm just so
Wonderful.
Thank you.
When do you want us to come back? Just call.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
If he could give us like about 25 minutes, but we will be here. Thank you. And now we get to move on to the Simón Bolívar Lifetime Achievement Award. I have the dual duty of being our MC and also presenting to our first recipient, administrative law judge and attorney Edgar de Leon. Mr. de Leon is with us, and I should note that although he's a CUNY guy, getting his BA and his master's from Hunter University, so you know, sort of related. He's like a cousin, we'll say.
Yeah.
And
Primo.
yeah, he's a primo. He's not City College level, but he's a primo. So, but in all seriousness, Edgar himself has attended these presentations, the Simón Bolívar Awards in the past. Edgar has been a constant supporter of the Latino Alumni Group, both in showing up and in contributing to our events and making our scholarships possible. Edgar has been a regular contributor to those things when we had programs and such. Very near and dear to our heart. And as stated, Edgar did receive a BA and an MS from Hunter College. He later received his JD, his Juris Doctor, from Fordham University School of Law. As our president alluded to previously, Gary Kaldick, Edgar has had a fascinating history in his lifetime. He has served as a police officer, rising to the rank of Sergeant Special Assignment in the New York City Police Department, working from patrol in the 34th Precinct when drugs were really rampant and crime was at a level that most of us here remember and would not like to see come back. He then moved on. He moved on to do investigations for the Internal Affairs Bureau. He did investigations in the Hate Crimes Unit, in the Bias Unit rather, which is always a topical place to be. And sadly, the need for it has not changed. Mr. de Leon was a part of the international team. He had traveled to Spain and Hungary for the Office of Democratic Institutions and Human Rights. That's a non-government organization dedicated to human rights. He has, in 2003, he began his own practice, representing clients directly in mostly criminal defense and matrimonial law and general litigation. He still has his own practice. It's a Latino-based practice with him and his associate, who are both Latinos and a Latina, I should say. Edgar he's served as an administrative law judge for the city of New York, as well as an impartial hearing officer for the New York State Department of Education, where he adjudicates claims arising under the Individuals with Disabilities Act, ensuring that students in the New York City school system and the state school system have fair access to education. He has served on the board of directors of Loisaida, He still serves as a friend of Lois Sider. He's been appointed by the mayor of the city of New York to the Committee on Marshals. Mr. De Leon is a past president of the Puerto Rican Bar Association, and he was elected to the board of directors of Equal Justice USA. You will see him frequently as a guest on Court TV and WWRL. He is also a member of the American Bar Association, State Bar Association, the Criminal Bar Associations, and other associations that are too numerous to list here. He has been recognized by El Diario newspaper as a most notable and featured Latino. He has served and is admitted to practice in federal courts in the state of New York and New Jersey, and I am proud to present the 2021 Simón Bolívar Lifetime Achievement Award to Judge Edgar De Leon, ESQ.
Wow, thank you very much, Sergio. That is those are very kind words, and this has been quite a little program, a great program. I am so impressed by Diane and her performance, and by Emmanuel. First of all, let me say it's an honor to receive this program during Hispanic Heritage Month. And also today, this morning, while I'm in the gym, I'm seeing a story about our chancellor, Felix Matos Rodriguez, who I met many, many years ago when I was president of the Puerto Rican Bar Association. And I was speaking to him. He was the director of the Central for Puerto Rican Studies at Hunter College, which I always believed was a part of CUNY. I'm not sure now based on what Sergio just said, but I always felt that was a part of CUNY. I just found Felix to be a tremendous person. I mean, smart, dedicated, humble. And I met him about preserving the history of the Latino legal community here, not just in New York City, but throughout the entire country. And he was so receptive. I haven't spoken to him in many years, but it's an honor to be recognized by this association during Hispanic Heritage Month and on a particular day that they featured his story on New York One. CUNY, and Hunter is a part of CUNY, really made me. I was born in the Bronx, but I grew up, I was a year old. I was already in the projects behind Lincoln Center, Amsterdam houses. That's where I grew up. I attended St. Paul the Apostles Grammar School on 60th between Amsterdam and Columbus, Powell Memorial Academy between 61st and Amsterdam and Columbus, and eventually Fordham Law School on 62nd between Amsterdam and Columbus. So I did a lot of education between those three blocks. But those are not so much the markers in my life. When I graduated from high school, had the opportunity to go to a Division I college, and I did not go to that college. I went to a college upstate, a SUNY school upstate, and I did not do well. After 2 years of doing nothing that I should have been doing, I was politely asked to leave. I had 23 credits and I came back to New York City, and my mother, being the strong Latin woman that she was, said, okay, you got 30 days. And she politely asked me to leave also. I mean, if you're not going to go to school, get a job and start to support yourself. And that's what I did. And in the 70s, I eventually, after a bunch of odd jobs, got a job at the United Parcel Service. I was a driver for them. And I'm making $17.50 about in the 70s. And that was pretty good. But I wasn't going anywhere. And a friend of mine joined the police department, and he had a career, and I felt that I had a job. And it was the fact that he joined that made policing being a possibility to me. And so I took a $10,000 pay cut and I joined the police department. And it was one of the best decisions I made in my life. It was a good decision because it completely changed my life. I'm always very, very honest. Sergio knows this, and anybody who knows me, that I was not living right in those years. I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. And I lost my way. But it was CUNY that brought me back. I attended CUNY from 1980 to 1988, 8 years to get my bachelor's, all while I'm working at night, while I'm working full time, and all at night and going during the summer. And then I attended from 1990 to 1992 to get my master's, and law school from 94 to 98. And what I had at CUNY that I didn't have when I went to SUNY upstate was a community where people like me, people from like the city, people who were struggling, working, and also trying to get somewhere. And quite frankly, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I just had a feeling that I could do better. And so graduating from law school it was a wonderful, I can't deny that it changed my life and it was a great thing to happen, but it was really great getting my bachelor's from Hunter that we celebrated, that my mother and I celebrated. It was really, really a monumental event in my life. And I was only able to do that with the support of the community there. It was a diverse community. It was a lot of Latinos, and we stuck together and we studied together and we talked and we shared our experiences, and it got us through the process. And that does not change. That does not change going forward. We just had the census, and the census revealed that the white population of the United States is decreasing, I believe, by 8%. But the minority and immigrant population of the United States is increasing way above 8%. And the largest group that is increasing are Latinos. It is our community that is increasing in this country. And so it is so important that we network and that we support each other. And just a moment and a sidetrack to say that I have known Sergio since 1994. He is someone that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He's been a leader in the military, in the Coast Guard. He has been a leader. He is a leader in the Latino legal community. And he's a leader here. And that says something about him. And that says something that I think is admirable and should be supported. And I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the other recipients. In 66 years of living, I have met one other Latino architect, and that was a man named John Perez. I don't know if Manny Estevez knows him. He had his own firm. It's been a while since I've spoken to him. But out of all those years, how many Latino architects do we know? Manny is a tremendous, tremendous example of what we can achieve. And he should be held up as an example to our community that others can achieve as he has achieved. And the same can be said for Dr. Fidel Tavares. I don't know many Hispanic researchers and PhDs for that matter. I know lots of Latino lawyers, but architects, PhDs, I don't know many. And we need to hear their stories. We need to know about them. Our community needs to know about them. And so I just want to thank, it's late and I don't want to speak too long. I just want to say thank you. I want to say it's an honor to be recognized. I want to thank this association. I want to support this association. And in my role, I want to say as a hearing officer with the New York State Department of Education, not so much with the New York City Office of Administrative Trials and Hearings, but I can tell you that Latinos are being grossly underserved by this powerful, powerful law that can provide services to many, many, many of our children and our students who are in need. And I would encourage everyone to look into the power of the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act. And if I can be of help of any way, I am here to help in any way I can in that regard. So again, I don't want to speak too long because it's late. I am honored and thank you very, very much. And let me turn it over to Sergio.
Thank you very much, Judge De Leon. We appreciate your support and we appreciate your words. Your story is certainly something that needs to be held up for others to see. And now for our next Simón Bolívar Award, we have,
Sergio?
I'm sorry, President Kalnick? Hello?
Sergio?
Yes, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Peretta, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Gary?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes, Gary, you, President Kalnick, you want to say something?
Just a brief word. Edgar, subsequent to this evening, if you can connect Edgar and Vanessa, because Vanessa, in the event that others don't know, Vanessa is the Alicia Chuque, is the president of the architectural affiliate at City College. So not only is she an architect, but she's the president of the affiliate. She is Ruben Rivera's peer. So all of the architects, the graduates who formed the affiliate, thought so highly of Vanessa that she's been the president for multiple years. And I just think Edgar and others need to be aware of that. And she's also a female in a male-dominated field.
That is exactly correct. That is part of the what it's our job to get the word out, because it's certainly not out there and it's a work in progress. Thank you very much, President Kalnick. Now I will call again our Latino Alumni Group President, Dr. Ruben Rivera, to introduce our next Simón Bolívar recipient. Dr.
Wonderful.
Rivera.
Thank you so much, Sergio. I appreciate the words, and what a lovely evening. I want to give a big shout out to Diana for wonderful performances. I honestly felt like I was at an arts cafe, having a glass of wine and listening to wonderful music. But it's not only an honor, but a privilege to present this next award to not only a colleague, but a scholar in the field of education. And when I read this person's bio, I was like, wow, somebody in the field of education, and I'd be honored to just present this award to Dr. Fidel Tavares. So Dr. Fidel Tavares was chosen as the Simón Bolívar recipient by the board of the Latino Alumni Group for his dedication to education, research, and history. He's recognized for his ambition and willingness to strive despite difficult odds. His passion for education, history, and music are the building blocks to his success. Dr. Tavares has a story, and is one story of triumph. If you know his story, he will tell you that he endured an academic struggle. And I'm sure Dr. Tavares would agree with me from a quote from the late classical pianist Alice Herz Zummer. She stated, "Music saved my life, and music saves me still." Dr. Tavares is an immigrant from the Dominican Republic. Big shout out. And was raised in Brooklyn, New York. Dr. Tavares began his academic journey at an early age when he was awarded a full scholarship by the Posse Foundation. His early collegiate journey was met with challenges. It found it difficult to find the right fit in a college setting. He states, "I simply did not have the skills to compete in a college level work. I, therefore, decided I would dedicate myself to Afro-Caribbean music and avoid college altogether. To my surprise, learning how to play multiple musical instruments gave me something I lacked: discipline and grit." After finding his grit, Dr. Tavares attended LaGuardia Community College, where he would earn his associate's degree and then transferred to the City College of New York to earn his bachelor's. At CCNY, he was awarded a Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship, MMUF, as an NMUF fellow. He participated in summer research training program at the University of Chicago, where he developed theoretical sophistication to conduct doctoral level research in history. Dr. Tavares has been involved with various institutional affiliations that throughout his academic career has shaped his teaching mantra. He currently holds an assistant professorship in history at Queens College. From 2018 to 2020, he was based at the Freie Universität in Berlin, where he was a Alexander von Humboldt Foundation Fellow. From 2016 to 2018, he held a Provost Postdoctoral Fellowship at the University of Chicago, and eventually he earned his PhD in history from Princeton University. Now, Dr. Tavares strives to become a rigorous and creative historian, a compelling thinker, and an empathetic educator. For his dedication to education, history, and music, and the inspiration that he is creating to all Black and Brown and Latino students in our community, I am proud to present the 2021 Simón Bolívar Lifetime Achievement Award to the one, the only, a colleague in the field of education, Dr. Fidel Tavares.
Bravo.
Thank you so much
Bravo,
for those kind words. Thank you so much for those very, very, very kind and generous words. I am deeply, deeply appreciative and humble and glad and delighted to be here tonight. I should start by congratulating the other honorees, Edgar de Leon and Emmanuel Estevez. I am flattered to be included in this award ceremony along such distinguished people. I should also thank Sergio Villaverde for reaching out to me. I should thank Gary Kalnick for the wonderful comments and introductions he provided. And I should also thank very deeply Dr. Ruben Rivera for that, I think, generous introduction. I had prepared some comments and I will get to them, but I would also like to follow up on what Dr. Rivera and Edgar de Leon said earlier. And that is that my path was not linear. Like, similar to the case, as was the case for Edgar de Leon. I arrived in this country as a 16-year-old immigrant. I finished my last 2 years of high school, and I was fortunate to be awarded a full scholarship from the Posse Foundation to attend Kobe College, but I had only been here for 2 years, grown in the middle of Waterville, Maine. I did not succeed, one, because it was just too foreign for me, but also because I simply did not have the skills. I then came back to New York, did a couple of semesters at Fordham University, but I dropped out, or rather was expelled. I then attended Brooklyn College to no avail, also expelled because I just wasn't doing well in my classes. So I decided that I would drop out and dedicate myself to music. I did that for 3 or 4 years before starting from scratch at LaGuardia Community College and then transferring to City College. So my story is not linear, but that's what CUNY represents. CUNY gives an opportunity to people like me, like us, who had a difficult time initially, but then developed the discipline and the grit to come back and achieve something important. And so I am deeply grateful to City College, but also to CUNY more generally. And so, as historians often do, I had also prepared some comments, and I'll have a bit of a story as to how I got to City College, how I transferred there, and what that meant for me. So I first joined City College as an undergraduate in 2008, after completing an AA degree, as I mentioned before, at LaGuardia Community College. City College, however, had not been my first choice. In fact, I already in the spring of 2008, just right before I started at City College, I had begun the process of enrollment at Queens College, the institution where I currently teach. Serendipitously, my then girlfriend, now wife, asked me to move in with her. To my surprise and initial chagrin, she also recommended that I transfer to City College instead of Queens College, especially considering that it would be much easier for me to commute to City College from her apartment in Washington Heights. After careful consideration, I succumbed to her recommendations and decided to transfer to City College. It goes without saying that because I had made this decision in haste, I remained ambivalent about my choice for the entire summer of 2008. I ultimately transferred to City College, not because I really wanted to attend this institution, but because I loved my partner very much and couldn't bear the thought of disappointing her. In August of 2008, I conducted an amateurish cost and benefit analysis, which revealed that the value I was getting from spending time with my partner far outweighed the potential disappointment I would have to endure by attending City College. Also, I was a musician, a percussionist at the time, and it just so happened that most of the gigs that I had took place in either Manhattan or the Bronx. So I embraced my decision and began my studies in the fall of 2008. Little did I know that attending City College would be one of the best decisions I've made in my life. Almost as soon as I arrived, I was struck by the curiosity-driven style of both my peers and professors. One class in particular changed my life: a historical survey on colonial Latin America taught by Professor Susan Bessie, who has since retired. Almost immediately, Professor Bessie saw my potential and invited me to apply to the City College Fellowship, a program designed to mentor and encourage undergraduate students who are interested in pursuing doctoral studies. By the spring of 2009, I had also been awarded the Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship, which allowed me to conduct archival research in preparation for my graduate school applications. In addition to receiving a host of scholarships from City College, especially from the history department, and including one from the Alumni Association, I actually was awarded the Louis Nuigiborn Memorial Scholarship in 2009. So in addition to these scholarships, I was also able to work as a research assistant at the Dominican Studies Institute. This support and experience prepared me to gain admission into top history doctoral programs. The academic training I received also prepared me to cope with the academic demands I confronted in Princeton University, where I completed my PhD in 2016. I will not bore you with more details, but suffice it to say that this award is proof that 10 years after my graduation, City College, and in this case also the Alumni Association, continues to be very kind and generous to me. So I accept this prize with pride and gratitude at the same time. Many thanks for this recognition. I am deeply humbled. After all these years, I only have one regret, and that is not having selected City College as my first choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tavares. That's an awesome story. Many of us are nonlinear in our track. And I would say when I spoke to Dr. Tavares, I too went to LaGuardia Community College, and that's how I found my way to City College, or City College found me. So I think your story is an inspiring story, and the story of many of us. And thank you for your success, and thank you for appearing with us today. Now, did we lose Diana? I hear the
I'm reaching out.
I hear a cookie.
I'm reaching out to her in 1 second. I'm just reaching out to her. She told us to give her a friendly nudge. When she goes, she can come back. So give us just maybe a couple seconds.
This is a splendid program. I'm so proud that we were able to put it together.
As we are getting ready for, hopefully Diana will be able to join us. I would like to just, if it's okay, Sergio, just maybe end with some closing remarks. I know our program is was scheduled to 8:30, and we did shift things here and there. So we truly appreciate everyone's cooperation, everyone's patience. And one more time, just want to give a round of applause to all of the recipients, Edgar de Leon, Fidel Tavares, and Emmanuel Estevez. You are all amazing. You are all a reflection of our community and the things that we as Latinos are doing together. We say congratulations to everyone. So as Diana is getting ready, let me just.
Truly the best of us. So now for our closing remarks, we're going to bring back our president of the Latino Alumni Group, Dr. Ruben Rivera.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sergio, for doing a wonderful job as our master MC. Now I know who I can hire for any future events that I have. So thank you all. Thank you so much. What a year it's been. I think these last 2 years, we've been faced with so much challenge, with so much adversity, not only through the COVID pandemic, but what's happening in our communities through social injustices. But no matter what happens, we're here together, and we're here as one family. We're here as one network, and we're here to support each other. On behalf of the CC Latino Alumni Group, and the CCNY Alumni Association. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month to all. Thank you for joining us this evening as we commemorate and celebrate Latinos in our community who have given honor to CCNY and the Latino community via their work. It is my privilege to give you some closing remarks and some food for thought, if you will. I was raised as a proud immigrant from Honduras while honoring American history and my own Honduran history and heritage. I grew up in Washington Heights. I was taught the principles of this country and my own country by my parents, my aunts, and uncles, my wide network of extended family and friends, many of whom originate from the City College of New York. Sometimes the family you choose is the ones that's there for you the most. And my family at CCNY has definitely been there. I've learned that you can attain your goals if you work hard, and foster and create relationships. As a teacher, I never imagined that I had the opportunity to have such a large impact on thousands of young lives and that of educators across the country. One of my greatest accomplishments has been to play a role in shaping the future of our country by inspiring young minds to realize their full potential regardless of their appearance, sexual orientation, religious beliefs, or places of origin. As you've heard from the stories from Dr. Fidel Tavares, Edgar de Leon, and Emmanuel Estevez, I'm sorry. Let us remember the numerous Latinos and Latinas who have supported our country by contributing to a strong economy. And as we finish off Hispanic Heritage Month, let us continue to preserve the diverse abilities and cultural influences that we have contributed to the richness of this country, that being through our food, our celebrations, our sports, our music, and politics. Latinos have had the chance to prosper and contribute their skills to this country, and similarly carrying out those practices daily in routines by passing down their roots from our descendants into our current members of our societies today, because they have become well known and now are being embraced by Americans all over. When I think about the work that we as an organization are doing and we are performing, I remember the ideas that my family instilled in me, that if we believe and we stay optimistic and we work together, we will succeed. I want to thank you all so much for being here this evening, and I want to congratulate one more time all of the Simón Bolívar Rising Star Award winners. I strongly advise you to please join the Alumni Association, the Latino Alumni Group. I want to encourage you to keep engaged, stay engaged, and let's continue supporting one another. It's been a pleasure, un placer. Have a pleasant evening y una muy buenas noches. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rivera. Did we get Diana back? I don't think so. Very well then. I think the work was inspirational. I also would like to thank everyone who helped put this night together. The Latino Alumni Group Board, the office, David Covington, Nina Farrell, who are invaluable in helping us get this together. It happens every year, and it happens because of the support that we get. Again, congratulations to our honorees. Que Dios los bendiga y que tengan buenas noches. Adiós.
Adiós.
Buenas noches.
Diana's coming on, everyone. If you want to stay on for some post music, she will be here in the next minute or so.
Yes.
So no adios.
Wonderful to see you, Franklin and Vanessa.
Yes, as they say in school, speak amongst yourselves.
Thank you, Beretta. It's good to see you all via Zoom.
Fidel, how did you start studying the economics of Latin America and the history of the economics of Latin America? I saw that in your bio. It's so specific.
Well, yeah, when you do, when you have to write a doctoral dissertation, you have to choose something specific. Of course, when you teach more broadly. So at Queens College, I teach a survey in colonial Latin American history and then a survey in modern Latin American history, as well as surveys in Atlantic history. But when you do your academic research, it has to be in a kind of, smaller topic that you can make a contribution, an innovative contribution. But actually my subject for my subject is pretty large because it's actually the entire Spanish Empire in the 18th century.
Right.
The economic system. So, but there are people who write, about 10 years in one city, for instance.
Nice.
Yeah. It's such a broad topic, and I was, I'm always curious how people are drawn to that, or that is drawn to you. So.
Yeah, no, it's. I actually started graduate school wanting to write a dissertation about why the Dominican Republic declared itself independent from Haiti in 1844. But then when I was in graduate school, I decided that I wanted to do something more ambitious, something broader. And I just really like the history of capitalism in the 18th century Spanish America, which is why I decided to switch focus.
All right, we're going to have a class just on that. So good. We got you locked in. Is Diana back?
Gladly.
Hi, Diana. You're a little low.
Great. We're on. Okay. Congratulations to everybody. Everybody there who's won. You can't hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Diana.
I can hear you. Thank you, Diana.
Congratulations to all the winners, and everybody there is a winner, okay? Because we're all in this together. And I'm also a CUNY University graduate. I graduated with my BA from Empire State in jazz performance and painting, a double concentration, and then went on to become a school counselor at Long Island University. So here we go. We're going to do one last tune for you called No Me Digas No, which is one of my own personal tunes that I wrote. Ruben, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Puede decirme todo, puede decir lo que tú quieras, puede decirme lo que me quieres, pero no me digas no, no me digas no, no me digas no. Mi vida, no me digas no, no me digas no, no me digas no, mi santo. No es una palabra tan fea, sin feliz, sin baile, sin futuro. Oh, no es una palabra tan fría, sin amor, sin sabor, sin mañana. No me digas no, 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 no me digas no, 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 no me digas no, mi cielo. No me digas no, 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 no me digas no, porque no es una palabra tan fea, sin feliz, sin baile, sin futuro. No es una palabra tan fría, sin amor, sin sabor, sin mañana. puede decirme todo. Puede decirme que me quieres. Puede decir lo que tú quieras. Pero no me digas no. No me digas no. No me digas no. Mi vida. No me digas no. Dígame sí. No me digas no. Porque no es una palabra tan fea. Sin feliz, sin baile, sin futuro. Oh, no es una palabra tan fría. Sin amor, sin sabor, sin mañana. No me digas no. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed being here with you guys tonight.
And now we will really say,
thank you. We enjoyed your performance.